Hey, we've got 4 packages here. It was a small update, or small release today, but over the weekend I wanted to pad it with older releases. So Monday morning I'm like, oh, only 2 things were arriving today. Next day shipped a bunch of stuff. This looks like the new stuff here. There we go. The basic idea here is catching up on my a lot of older releases. In this case, I went for Blu-rays. Oh god, this is actually a lot of stuff. Let's see, I should try and dig out 2 new things that arrived and do those first. I'm actually going to set this to the side while I do this, so we can begin with the Future Diary. This is Blu-ray. Looks like Blu-ray only. Region A. This was released on DVD before. Wonder if I missed getting a DVD Blu-ray version, but that's okay, because even if there was a version like that, I would have only been getting it in order to get this series on DVD and Blu-ray. And I guess, because I think Funimation took over this, I'm guessing that it was probably licensed by Geneon, because that seemed to have been part of that set of stuff where DVD only versions were released. Oh well, anyways, I'm babbling. Oh look, speaking of Blu-ray versions of things, Hayate the Combat Butler Season 1. This is actually a pretty decent release. Region A, Japanese with English subtitles, of course. And as you can see, this says it has all 52 episodes on 6 discs. So, if you had the DVD version before and had trouble finding season or volume 8, which is, I understand it actually became pretty rare, so I don't even quite know how lucky I may have been to have gotten mine. Well, now you can get this series on Blu-ray. And obviously, since it just arrived, I've not had a chance to look at it. I definitely recognize that art, so that's some of the art that was used before. Well, that's familiar as well. Maybe those are familiar. I don't know. Well, that's the Blu-ray release of Hayate the Combat Butler. Let's start going through this. Next up, we got Paprika on Blu-ray. Oh, it's one of these sealed ones. I've had it on DVD. So, getting the Blu-ray version. This one's actually been, I don't know, I guess it's hard to say something is high on the want to get list when you can just put it off so long or something. Oh my god, this is what happens when you buy older releases. And some of the oddball newer releases, I guess. Paprika on Blu-ray. Next up we got Resident Evil Degeneration. I'm trying to remember what was the other one called. I mean, there may have been more than just 2. I'm trying to remember. Because it seems like they kept getting better or something. I'll have to double check what I've got to make sure I've got everything in this regard. But this one, opening this is a lot like opening Paprika, simply because I think they're both Sony releases. This time I saved the plastic for this. I knew this was coming. Well, I think whatever the other one I'm trying to remember was the one that started out okay, I guess, and then just kept getting better and better. Well, that one, maybe I already got that on Blu-ray. Oh well. Next up, we've got Samurai 7 on Blu-ray. The Legendary Epic Reborn. This is from when Gonzo was remaking various fairy tales, classical stories, sorts of things. So the Count of Monte Cristo became Katsuo. Let's see this. Yeah, down there says Region A. Actually, what do these say? A, B, and C. A, B, and C. So the Paprika and Resident Evil Blu-rays are multi-something or the other. One disc per, huh? Two and three. Next up, we got the Escaflowne movie, which was released on Blu-ray. I do believe this series itself was not, but I've not watched this. I've also not watched the Diebuster movie. There's some old stuff I really... oh gosh, I'm just far behind on everything. I keep getting further and further behind. I'm never going to catch up again. I think even if I was paid millions of dollars just spending all my time to myself, somehow I would still continue to fall behind on anime. It's very basic, but I'm glad to get it on Blu-ray or on DVD. Next up, we got Sword of the Stranger, which is Bandai released and a classic. Oh, what was the region on this one? I'm not seeing anything. This was also a Bandai release, huh? So I'm not seeing it. Let's, how annoying. Oh gosh, I can't open that. This older plastic is so hard. This isn't gonna do. See if that actually, yeah, there we go. Same problem facing nowadays, except that apparently with the older, harder plastic, you just can't get into it at all with your fingers. At least the tape's not disintegrating. I remember back getting old DVDs that were new, that were like 10 years old. The tape always falls apart. Hey, Tekkon Kinkreet. If I'm not mistaken, this is is this a Sony release? Well, that says Region A. That's annoying. Darn it. Just what I was speaking about. Not as bad as I've had in the past, but yeah, look, that's definitely another Sony release. That's Tekkon Kinkreet. That's me in the background of the disc. Next up, the Blu-ray version of the 8th One Piece movie, which is a recap of what Funimation calls Season 2 of One Piece, essentially. It's not as good as it is, I think. There's definitely more build-up, but it's decent otherwise for what it is. No, it's those other One Piece movies I want to see. Yeah, I've got that. Yeah, this is the Blu-ray version of Gunbuster vs. Diebuster, which is Gunbuster OVA version and Diebuster. Well, I guess technically they were both 6 episodes OVAs, so this is the really condensed into movie versions. Gatai movie. So I've got the DVD version of this, of course. So we got Blu-ray. What the hell is that? I still haven't figured out how to open this. Guess this is one option. I don't really plan to put it back in, so should be fine. Unlike the Japanese releases that I get, which are very weak and have a lot of parts to them and could fall apart really easily, and there's definitely something about this which feels along those lines. Should be this. Let's see, 3 discs. I'm trying to look for any region coding information. I'm not seeing any. Let's see here, this says Blu-ray. Let's put this to the side. Blu-ray, Blu-ray. So, first we got the Gunbuster movie. It's on your freaking... Oh, did I show the back very well? It's got our important secondary characters. Which makes for very neat box set. Come on. It's not some very easy plastic. So, wonder if this one says anywhere. I'm not seeing any region signs. We're going inside. Got the Blu-ray disc. That makes me wonder, did I accidentally get one from another region? I'm not seeing anything here that's making it too obvious, but basically that looks like the rating system for another country, UK stuff, I guess. So we got a booklet here, and whatever this is, which looks like character relation chart information. So what I'm going to do figure what I'll do is I'll try and throw it in my Blu-ray player just to see what happens. Keep going here as I'm working along the way, because next up comes Diebuster. That came off a little more easily. This one has that same thing. Same sort of thing. Let's see. Maybe I keep y'all involved. What I'm doing is setting this up, and y'all might as well see, because the idea is just to see what happens when I try and play this. Meanwhile, I'm going to open this bonus disc. Which is written in Japanese on the back. Okay, so right now, I guess it looks like Japanese English. So it could be the same release across different states. I'll have to do a little more research into it just to make sure. But it looks like it's playing just fine. So let's get back down here, open that tray, and continue trying to open this, which is hard to do without something to give me a start. Yeah, so I'll have to definitely have to do more research into this to see if this is a Japanese release that was imported or a Japanese release that was mistakenly sold to me under the listing for the US one. Can't even tell what would be on this bonus disc. So there's that at least. I mean, okay, this can't just be the Japanese release because, you know, that's obviously Japanese, but it occurred to me that I did have this, and this is all clearly English. So I'm guessing it's probably not an issue. Before I continue on, I just want to turn the TV off so it's not glaring on the Blu-rays here. And then we can look at D.Gray-man Season 1 Part 1. There is a listing for Season 1 Part 2 in both Amazon and Film Aficionado, but I do not know if that was actually released or if it's just rarer than this. So I figured I might as well get the one, and I'll worry about getting the other. And if there's more than those two, then Film Aficionado doesn't know about it, and then, I don't know, I'll figure this stuff out, I figure. But for now, it's better to catch up on what I can catch up on. Ooh, disc. Oh yeah, I'm seeing an A there. And then of course this would be dubbed because it was dubbed. Look at this. This is so old a release. I haven't seen one of these in a long time. I'm trying to think what here's even very new. Gun 1.11. So this is telling me, I guess I bought this from 2010, or that's the year. I mean, that makes sense. I'm needing to go back pretty far to catch up on stuff I haven't bought, and 2010 is right around when I started collecting Blu-rays at all, and then shortly after I started collecting all of them, so that could have been later in the day, or later in the year, I don't know. Next up we've got, I'm going to move this aside, the Legend of the Dark King, A Fist of the North Star Story on Blu-ray, Region A. Yeah, I know this is a big update because I'm catching up on a lot of old DVDs. I kind of figured it was about time to do that. I mean, I think I talked about a couple months ago about padding. It was probably just last month, padding that month with stuff that I needed to get that was older, the catch up on stuff. But really, when you get down to it, this is all that falling apart tape I was telling you about. That's basically nothing. I have to admit, this is a very curious looking thing, especially looking at the disc. I'm kind of wondering, what's it about? I've had Legend of the Dark King for a long time. Oh well, let's finish this up. Sky Crawlers, Sony release, so that's all 3 regions there. Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, I'm having a bit of trouble getting an angle on that. Ow. Should not poke towards me, but I'm a little desperate to get this video over with. It took longer to get my packages today than usual. And of course, opening so many things with such old packaging is time consuming. So there's everything about this is very time consuming. Alright. Now to look at an intense experience. Whoa, that was intense. Although this is a different insert. Or maybe the same insert but at a different angle, or maybe the same insert or a different insert but just 10 years older. Don't know. Person hiding behind the disc. Alright. This, assuming I can stably turn it on the side. Here, this is this week's anime DVD collection update. Does it make sense to call it that? None of these are DVDs. Blu-ray, 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 Blu-ray. Yeah, these are all Blu-rays. This is this week's anime Blu-ray collection update. So this I'm going to try and go really quick. Like I was talking about, I'm really falling behind on the watching of stuff, which means I only watched the first half of the latest Naruto Shippuden DVD release, which was okay. The arm wrestling was exciting, but it definitely feels like the anime is still slowing things down, delaying things a little bit, and it's not too bad, but the anticipation for seeing what's going to happen next, knowing that it's like on the verge, it might even happen on the next disc, is that's the only thing that really makes it hard. So the other thing I watched was one episode of Hayate Japan, and I just knew I needed to start one episode on that to just get going in, because otherwise I've been having really lazy evenings where I've been doing things around. Like, I don't remember if the camera can see over here, but these piles should look very different because I've been catching up on re-ripping stuff onto this server, and sometimes I've just been zoning out, and when that happens, I throw on an episode of Castle, because that's what one of the things I started watching on my Seattle trip. So I did last night put one episode of Hayate Japan on so that I could start the ball rolling on that. Oh man, but these last few episodes of Rick and Morty have been great, haven't they? Anyways, Hayate Japan, it's engaging. It's more engaging than I thought it would be going back into it. So I figure there's a good chance I'll just keep going because it's an entertaining show. Other than that, I did pre-order next month's stuff. I'm trying to think what all notable things there are. I know that the first of next month, Robot Carnival's coming out, and I think that one's been a kind of noteworthy, strange one, I guess. I don't know. I've never seen it. I'm not entirely sure what it's about. I've always been curious, but you know, I've got all these DVDs to catch up on. So, getting a chance to see that should be great. What else was there? I guess Fullmetal Alchemist on Blu-ray is coming out. I pre-ordered the most expensive option I could find on Right Stuff last month, and I had to double check this month to make sure I had done that. But I'm trying to think what else. Tsukemonogatari, I think, maybe it's pre-ordered. Assuming I'm remembering the name right. Oh well, as you can tell, I'm going through this fast because there's really not a whole lot to talk about, just because I really didn't watch all that much, even when it comes to watching these episodes of Castle or whatever. So hopefully I've transitioned from bookmarking the last episode I watched on my laptop to watching it straight off of my streaming server, which means that's the next thing I'll be watching is more episodes of that. So hopefully this means that I started that engine up again. Then again, I don't know, could be a busy week. We'll have to find out. So y'all have a nice week.